So this is going to be another quick recent tutorial thing. It's a technique that I use occasionally. It's definitely something useful to know. Um, it's more for a chiptune sort of sound. There's often times where you're in many styles of music where you want to bring in sort of elements of the chiptune sort of Game Boy music. And this is just a little technique to add to your arsenal. So the basic sound that you get out of this is that 8-bit sort of chord sound. What it is just a very fast arpeggiation, and it sounds something like this. Yeah, so that's basically it. It's really easy to do, but if you don't know how to do it, then it's a really helpful technique to know how to do. So to just go ahead and start, I'm just gonna open up a Thor. Leave pretty much everything at default. I can even take off the filter to get just the pure sound. Obviously, you can sound design this however you want, but the sound is based on a simple waveform. So sawtooth, square, triangle, or sine wave. Sawtooth and square usually sound the best, though. And we could go with the analog oscillator. I've done it a lot in the past, but actually for this time we're going to go to the wavetable because the analog adds a little bit of flavor. It's not quite pure tones, and so we're going to go ahead and go to the wavetable because these are much closer to pure tones in this basic analog wavetable. So by default, this crossfade is on, and that makes it so that there's, I think, 4 or 5 waveforms here, and it crossfades between them. So if I hold down the note, it fluidly goes through that tonal range. I'm going to bring up the sustain here just so you can hear it. You don't need to do that when you're making the synth, though. So it goes through that tonal range. If I take the crossfade off, then it won't be crossfading between each of these different waveforms, and so you'll hear it sort of clunk into each new waveform. Sounds like 4. So yeah, we do have the sine, triangle, square, and sawtooth. So for this, I'm going to go with the square. You could use any of them that you want, but I personally like the square the most. So then I'm just going to go ahead, bring up a monophonic arpeggiator, RPG8. It's a little pun there. Propellerhead. Anyways, so the only thing that you have to do for this, you could just bump this synced rate up to 1/64th and it'll sound pretty good. But I personally like to have it on free, and that makes it so that it's not syncing with your rhythm, your tempo, and that's just a personal preference. You can have it however you want. Just if it sounds, I don't know. We're going for 8-bit Game Boy music, but still I like it to not sound that robotic, even though it is a fairly robotic sound. I like the fact that it doesn't sync up with the rhythm that I have. So you could mess around with the speed. I usually go around 30, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, but 30 is usually my sort of go-to frequency for the speed of this. And that's pretty much it. We have our basic synth, and yeah, I want to say that this is not, you can take this a lot further and start adding on distortions and add some digital distortion, or do whatever you want sound design wise. This is more just for the basic sound and technique. So anyways, I hope you got something out of that, and see you next time. Thanks.